Guys, we have got to talk about Pearl, y'all. A24's newest horror movie, and it is a prequel to X, which came out earlier this year, and there's also going to be a sequel to X called Maxine. Guys, I am really enjoying Ty West's trilogy here, and honestly, depending on Maxine, it might be one of my favorite horror franchises of the modern era, but I'm getting a little too far ahead of myself. Welcome in if you're new. The name's Leo Rydell, guys. This is Geekly Goods, where we talk the latest in movies, TV, Marvel, DC, guys, any corner of the geekverse we can hit. We hitting it here on the channel, so hit that big red subscribe button if you enjoy that type of content. And guys, I'm here today to review Pearl, which stars Mia Goth returning from her role in X as the older Pearl. But now this time we are following Pearl in her origin story. And let me tell you guys, I really enjoyed this film. Let's start out with the things that really work about Pearl, and honestly, just starting with Mia Goth herself. Like, honestly, Mia Goth is so good in this role. I think she's better as Pearl than she was as Maxine. Honestly, I think that she's got this really charming disposition, but you can see these little eeks and leaks of craziness that kind of slip out and start spilling out as the movie continues on. Guys, she is so good at being this sweet girl, going from that to being sinister. She is really good at flipping the script, and guys, she delivers a monologue toward the end of the movie that is so good. Mia Goth is incredible as this character, and honestly, I will be real with you, I think that this is her best performance yet. She's had a couple of other good performances, but I think this might be her one, guys. She did incredible. I think she would be nominated if this was not a horror movie. Mia was great. She really embodied this character, really gave me more reason to care about Pearl, because in X, you know, I'm more fixated on Maxine and what they're doing and the kind of the juxtaposition of aging and sexuality and freedom, but here I'm more interested in the actual character of Pearl. So Mia Goth does an excellent job of bringing that to life. The story is really small and tight, allows for us to just follow this character alone. I also really like the technical aspects of this film too. I know some might feel a little weird about it, but I like the Technicolor feel. I like the old-timey Technicolor, old school feel. I like it, that kind of the kind of like 40s text, you know, when we first started having color. I like that look, and I think it really works for the movie. I think the movie has a good solid pacing. It's short, it's sweet, it's quick. I think it really solidified itself as a prequel to X, and what feels so good is that it feels like Pearl and X are two halves to a whole, and it feels like to me, or maybe the first 2/3 before Maxine, and then once we get Maxine, it will be like one complete long movie, because X was like an hour and 40, I want to say. This was like an hour 40, hour 30, so it really is going to complete itself and be a complete experience. They're all pretty short movies, but yes, Mia Goth, the story, the technical aspects of this movie, really fun, and this really establishes who Pearl is as a character. So let's move on to some things that don't quite work, and I just want to say that maybe Ty West shouldn't have been the editor, because I'll just be honest, some of the transitions just looked a little film schooly, and not that Ty West is a amateur of any kind, but some of the transitions just didn't look that great. There was like these wipes and these like fades, and I'm like, I don't know, are we just throwing this in Adobe Premiere and just grabbing from the, you know, typical transition section and go with that? Because it just didn't feel like the transitions were that great. Honestly, that might be the only thing, and honestly, outside of Pearl, nothing else really happens. I mean, this is a movie about Pearl. There's not much more other than Mia Goth's character to really chomp on. So I will say, while, you know, it is a small, tight-knit story, and I do like that aspect, there's not a lot more to it than Pearl, and this being an origin story for the woman in X. So there's not much more to it, but I do really enjoy some of the things it has to say as well about loneliness and about fame and about wanting that fame and why you would want it and why you would want to go to where you go. And it goes deep into, you know, this character, why she wanted to be famous and how she wanted to be famous, and as we know in X, didn't quite happen how we thought. But guys, you gotta let me know your thoughts down in the comments, how you're feeling about Pearl. Are you anticipating it? Are you excited? Did you like X? Because if you like X, I think you will really like Pearl. Guys, if I had to give a rating to Pearl, I am going a solid 8.5 out of 10. Solid B. I do again think outside of it being about Pearl, there's not much more to chew on, so I do like X a little bit more, because there was just a lot going on in X, a lot more, and here we're kind of a little smaller and more tight-knit, very character-ish, very character piece-ish, so there's not a lot going on outside of that. But guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for your boy. And guys, we will see you next time on Geekly Goods.